Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. The global political map is changing every day. There was an upward trend toward the conservative leaderships, India, USA, Israel, Hungary, Estonia, Latvia, or and even to great extent France were witnessing the advent of the conservative leadership. And now, cyclical as our politics is, changeable as the geopolitical situation is, the things are changing. We have seen that Trump was defeated, and now the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu defeated. And how does it affect Indian leadership? Modi, another conservative on the right. Modi was depending a lot on Israel and on Trump, but Trump has gone. And Biden administration, despite all its claims of friendship, is no friend. Let's be very clear. I know no political leader would say it, but as a strategist and as a student of political economy and politics, let me tell you, honesty is always the best policy, and we have to keep our eyes open. And Biden administration is not friendly to India at all. It's a mask. The friendship is just a cover for its nefarious activities, as I had shown how they were using India to develop the bioweapons for them. So how would it impact India in safeguarding itself? The attitude of Pakistan is, as usual, intransigent, and it would not miss an opportunity to nibble at Indian borders, create terrorist activities in India, encourage Paris disparate disunity in India. And China is ever on the prowl. I just today put up an article showing sudden takeover of Bhutanese territory quietly without any noise. I also mentioned earlier in one of my articles how Sri Lanka has become almost a vassal state of China. And China, through its subsidies, through the border road initiative, through its trade, is living up to the old colonial mechanism that the flag would follow. The only thing is here, trade is also manipulated by the flag. So how would India react? Let's look at the things as they are. We have seen that the Chinese Navy is making incursions in Indian Ocean. But then the major danger is on the north. And the Chinese foreign policy is highly unpredictable. On the one side, CCP and the leaders would proclaim that the five-star flag should fly high. And then comes the statement by Xi, who is in fact guided by the 18th century concept of expansionism and has pursued this policy with the objective of having a predominant position in the world. The tool, of course, as I said earlier, is a debt trap. And the sword of the debt is used to coerce us weaker nations. Changing the facts on the ground to slap territories is Chinese specialty. But then, suddenly, all of a sudden, he said, let's make China lovable just a few days back. This is in sharp contrast to Beijing's hard-edged rhetoric or wolf warrior diplomacy witnessed in recent years. And in fact, increasing aggressive posturing by the younger officials and diplomats, which are the hallmarks of Xi's administration. So it's a double-edged policy. Lull the enemy to sleep the way they are doing with India. On the one side, they agreed for the ceasefire. And now the next 4 months are going to be very crucial. This takeover of the Bhutanese territory in the last few days, and they're not withdrawing basically. They have just withdrawn what they had advanced, but still a huge chunk of Indian territory is under the control. And they're building and amassing more army. As a matter of fact, that is not being told. What Z is saying is that it's crucial for China to improve its ability to spread its message globally and to present a true three-dimensional comprehensive picture. As a matter of fact, Z is aware that China lacks soft power. So since it considers itself to be equal to USA, it must have the same influence. If there is some idea to add power, that needs to be asked of China is, does it really have a civilization ideal for the world? The answer today is simply no. The idea that the entire humanity ought to become a community of the common destiny to end all suffering is something to give strive for. But CCP, the Communist Chinese Communist Party, is a vehicle for realizing time Z. And as a matter of fact, another major thing has come up is that they are sending the Trojan horses through the world in more than 150 countries through the institution called Confucius Institute. Very nice way to penetrate. Now, Sri Lanka has been the target of Chinese Machiavellian approach. And initially, Sri Lanka government wanted to pay off loan, but they could not. So ultimately, Sri Lanka government gave the port of Colombo with 15,000 acres of land for 99 years only. So China is firmly entrenched, and that's a danger to India. Now, from Colombo to India, and then from Colombo, they can control not only the southern part of India, but our Andamans, Lakshadweep, and major islands. So the Chinese submarines have been frequenting the northern and the eastern Indian Ocean for the last 4 months. And this increase in frequency of Chinese naval ships and submarines is a matter of concern. And the Indian Navy chief accepted it the other day when he was speaking at the Raisina airport. Leave Sri Lanka, so we have covered Sri Lanka, and in the north we have seen how they have taken over Bhutan. So for India, this has a significant security implication. There would be enhanced presence of PLA in its backyard. As a matter of fact, the north of India, the northern border, are becoming a storage house of PLA, tanks, aircraft, artillery guns, and so on. And going by the record of the Red China Sea and the South China Sea with increased presence is to be taken care of. And you remember in last August, even in the middle of ongoing conflict in the eastern Ladakh, China has sent its Yuan Wang class research vessel in the Indian Ocean. So they are a challenge to India. Now the question is, how is India going to protect? Does the departure of Netanyahu or Trump impact in any way? Yes, it would. As let's not forget that there are no permanent friends and there are no permanent enemies. Biden administration definitely is anti-India, but it is less anti-India than it's anti-China. So the degree of antipathy, the degree of opposition to India and China has to be seen. And Biden would definitely not like China to be more powerful. Whatever you might say, for them, India is still preferable to China is. They would not be happy to see that Indian role is minimized. They're happy to see that India stands a weakened country, but not at the cost of strengthening China. If it was a conflict between India and Pakistan, definitely. So this will be conundrum from Biden administration. It would try to restrain Pakistan, but it would not try to weaken India vis-a-vis China. Now, Israel, as far as concerned, has been traditionally pro-India. And the reason for that is not far to say. It's essentially a selfish decision. They are aware that India is a stronghold and quite useful for them to counter the terrorist activity of Palestine, which is also aided by Pakistan. Now, Pakistan is the most vocal pro Palestine voice in the world. We have seen this time. But an Indian attitude also disheartened even Netanyahu. He said he is shocked at Indians' statement and absentation, both in the General Assembly, in the Security Council, and in the Human Rights Commission. But again, you always choose a lesser evil. Even indifferent India, even non aligned India, even partially pro Palestine India would be preferable to having an anti India stand. And secondly, by protecting India and helping India, Israel is hitting at Pakistan. So this is a very, very dicey situation. They would, for even if they are not in favor of India, they'll help India in times of need. Of course, the help may not be as much as it was in the time of Prime Minister Netanyahu. Another thing to be considered is that India is a huge market. Today, Israel is the third largest supplier of military equipment to India, the second largest for technological transfers. So it's an economic source, feeding source for Israel. How can Israel afford not to help India? So Modi's constraint with the departure of Trump and the impending departure of Netanyahu is more than made up for by the need of those countries to ensure that India is not weakened vis-a-vis China. Now, the point is, what does India do to protect China? India has to adopt two things very clearly. And I'm going to take up this subject again tomorrow, so I'll just refer to it. First, it has to close down the four Confucius institutes in India, which it's not done as yet. And my information is that they might be thinking, but they have not taken any action. Their whole propaganda machine is geared at anti-Pakistan. And there needs to be a balance in your criticism. Secondly, the fall of Oli in Nepal is a boost to India. So India has to change its parameters. A, it has to become more aggressive. Aggressive not in the sense of invading or crossing the border, but in protecting the border. And it should not become lax in maintaining sufficient force, equipment near the border so that they can move at an hour's notice. And let me tell you, the way China is bringing the resources near the border, both in Sikkim area, Arunachal area, Ladakh area, and now in Bhutan area. The whole that. So what India has done is that is four core, and the third core must be in the state of readiness. As a matter of fact, if I'm to use the Pentagon technology, India should be in a state of DEFCON 2 all the time, at least till October. And after October, it can be on DEFCON 3. But it should be on DEFCON 2 so that it can come to DEFCON 1 in a period of about 2 hours. And from DEFCON 1 to the fire raging, exchange of the war is a matter of minutes. That has got to. Secondly, they must not be lulled by the dream of living in a period when you can take the words of the Chinese for granted. You have to get over that syndrome of bye bye. Even now, we have a feeling that China can be trusted. Let's be clear, it cannot be trusted. It's a dragon, and it's a slight dragon. India has to shed its image of being an elephant and become a wolf now. You do not fight wolf by being a mouse. You fight a wolf by being a tiger. So it has to be a springing tiger. The impact, as I see, and as I have talked about, of the departure of Trump is great, but minimal as far as China is concerned. Quite significant as Pakistan is concerned. Let me tell you, in case there is a conflict between India and Pakistan, they will be helping Pakistan with the proviso that Pakistan doesn't take help from China. And if China comes, then they will not even hesitate to actively support India against that Pakistan as well. Israel will keep on supporting India, whatever the changes of the government may be. The coming in of Quad is going to strengthen. Of course, there is a counterpoise nowadays being raised that India should quit Quad. Should it or should it not? As a matter of fact, it has got to realign its own thoughts. Quad, as far as the protection is concerned, is desirable, but not as an open incitement to China. Then it has, no, let's be clear, when we talk of the northern borders, we do not talk of the northern borders in isolation. Our northern borders are a distinct danger from tourism. But let's not forget that the rats of China, in the shape of the submarines, naval ships in the southern part of the country, are an equal danger. Now, what's likely to happen is that what China is attempting is a pincer movement, attack from both sides. So your attention is diverted. What India has got to do is it has to strengthen its naval forces as well. Just yesterday, India had returned its only nuclear submarine. It should acquire nuclear submarines immediately. And it need not depend on one country. It can go anywhere. USA, Russia, Israel. And yesterday, when I posted, the submarine, nuclear submarine, and the other submarines being destroyed by the Israelis' drone called Gull, Seagull. So India should acquire seagulls right away so they can protect themselves. You've got to be proactive on both sides. You cannot say, okay, we are concerned with the border, and somebody enters from the south and stabs you, or enters from the east, Bay of Bengal. Because Chinese are controlling 11 out of the 13 international sea routes, and 9 sea routes in Indian Ocean are controlled by China. So that being so, India cannot be lazy, indolent, asleep over. So what they have got to do is that there has to be a, now the one thing good has done is CDS. Chief of the Defense Services. So there can be better coordination, air, army, tertiary support by Navy for the North, air, Navy, and tertiary support by the Army in the South. Same in the East. Now, this will create a cover for India's borders all over. Thirdly, India should do right away implement the citizen army scheme. Why cannot and why the government has been lackadaisical is in giving the military training, making it compulsory the way Israel had done for everyone above the age of 18 for 2 years. And after 2 years, they go back. And they can be given a refresher training every 3 years. But if you do it for 2 years, do you have a ready-made army to step in? When the need is there, they can be called upon as the reservists. So that is one thing which we have got to take care of. But then that's a long-term process. It should have been started way back in 1947. It has not been done till today. And I thought that when Modi comes 7 years back, he would have started it, and 7 years he has also wasted. But let me tell you, the Indian borders have become now more precarious. They are not safe. The nibbling at the borders can take place anytime. So India has got to gear up. But geopolitically and internationally, the situation remains the same. They may not be more vocal and more forceful the time conservatives are in power, like in Trump and Netanyahu, but they will not be anti-India in case China comes in power. So Indian situation today is a precarious one as its internal situation is more concerned. I'm more concerned with the internal dissension. And India's intelligence services have got to improve. They are not as efficient as, for example, MI6 is, CIA is, Mossad is. We have got to enforce them. And we have got to ensure that the policy decisions are taken and implemented. And the left hand knows what the right hand is doing. But the change in the heads would make a marginal difference. Let's see which way the wind blows, but the next 4 months are going to be extremely crucial for India's safety, especially in the north, notwithstanding the danger from the south and the east, and partly from the west because of the Pakistan China collaboration in attacking India. Thank you.